How the heck are you guys? Oh my gosh, it's been a minute, but I'm super excited to be here with you today. I've got so many amazing things to share, and I'm not going to go through all of them today. I'm going to share all these stories and experiences over the next few days with you guys. But how's everybody doing? It's been a little bit since we've hung out together. Just checking the live feed. Ooh, let me check my phone really quick to make sure that the audio is working. Let's see here. Since we've hung out together. Okay, it's working. Lance, what's up, dude? How are you? Good to see you, man. It's been a while. It's been fun seeing your face in your lives and in my timeline, so that's awesome. Really quick before I jump into today, how many of you guys, by show of hands or comment, raise your hand, so to speak, if you do client calls, if you have sometimes people come into your world and you set up a discovery call or something like that. How many of you have calls with clients frequently? I was supposed to have one earlier today, and what's up, Liesel, in the other room? Good to see you. So I was supposed to have one earlier today with a lady up in Boise, and I sent a text reminder and all that stuff. And then came time for the call, and I make the call, and I get the immediate, welcome to Verizon Wireless. The number had changed, or that number was not a good number. And so it's just right? So I was all in that mode, and then it just fell off. So how many of you guys, my whole day kind of got thrown for a loop, and I was ugh, right? And it was in the afternoon, but still, it was just to plan and mentally be prepared for something to have it taken away. How many of you guys have felt that? Be sure to, hey, what's up, Ben? Thanks for hopping on, dude. Good to see you, brother. And so, it was just one of those things where I'm but it freed up some time for me to create something that I'm gonna debut or put in today's live. So stick it to the end for an awesome short, it's less than 2 minutes video teaser that I created. So how's that sound for an open loop? But today I want to talk about bees. Bees! I was in Colorado Springs last week, and I got swarmed by bees. So I want to talk about that experience and what I learned from it. And it's going to be so awesome. So with that said, let's jump right in. All right, so what is up, everybody? Lance, Liesel, Ben, Michael, everyone else who hops on, super grateful to be with you today. I am Nick Fitzgerald. I am a storytelling marketer, and I help entrepreneurs and businesses tell their stories in an effective way to leverage their leads, to leverage their sales pages and all those kinds of things, and to connect with people and sell more of their products and services through awesome stories and video. And it's just super fun to be able to nerd out about that stuff all day, every day. And if you're watching live first, I want you to comment where you're from, what city or what country or wherever it is that you are watching this. If it's from your living room couch, that's totally cool too. So comment below where you're tuning in from, where you're watching from, because it's always fun to see where people are. Today I want to, again, we're going to talk about the whole experience I had last week. I went to Colorado Springs, and I've been traveling for work. This is the second time in the last 3 weeks or so that I've gone to Colorado Springs to work with Jamie Cross with MIG Soap. What's up, Wayne? How's it going, brother? And it's just been super fun, and I'm traveling in a couple more weeks, less than 2 weeks, to LA, and I'm going to be there doing some amazing stuff, and it's just going to be super cool. And traveling for work is newer. I've had some trips for work But traveling with all of my video gear, that's something different. Usually I've been working on projects where we had the budgets to rent the gear once we got there instead of having to take it with me. So that was an experience. But just a cool thing, some cool things happened. Like I'm going to share some of these stories in separate lives. I talked about how I had a lot of cool things, and I'm not going to go through this like hour-long thing with you guys, 2-hour-long travel log kind of thing. What's up, dude? What's up, Jason? Oh my gosh, Jason, how are you, brother? Wayne, I'm doing well, thank you. Glad that you're doing well as well, We're doing well as well. And really quick, Michael is tuning in from New Jersey. Yes, New Jersey. If Colleen hops on, we'll have 2 people from Jersey on. What's up, Rex? How's the move plans coming? The first thing that happened when I landed is I went and got my rental car. And I got surprise upgraded to a sweet convertible Mustang, which was awesome. But that'll be a story for another live. And then also, I don't know how many of you guys have flown into Denver, into that airport, but I saw something super weird, and I'm still gathering my thoughts about it. This will be another topic. But like, as I was coming out of the airport, I saw they have this huge Bronco sculpture. It's huge. It's like 20 feet tall or something like that. But it was the middle of the day, and its eyes were like glowing, beaming red. It was so weird. So I saw that, but it was pretty crazy. But I went to Colorado to head to Colorado Springs to visit and work with my good friend Jamie Cross. If you don't know who Jamie is, she is the CEO and owner of MIG Soap. And they do all natural beeswax, like natural soaps that are incredible, and other skincare. And it's just, I love the smell of their stuff. So go and check her out. I'll drop a link afterwards for you guys to go shop around if you want. But like, so we got together to film some video. She was having an event, and I was just gonna get awesome B-roll of the event and the people attending and all that kind of stuff. And then we were gonna shoot some video the day after the event, just to get some assets together, because she's growing. Her business has grown to over $5 million in the last couple of years, and they're growing to scale to be $1 billion company. Excuse me, and they're totally gonna do it. It's incredible to see what they've got going on. And what's up, Aaron? I see you, brother. Thanks for hopping on. And so we shoot the event and all this stuff, and then on the day after the event, we had an experience which ties into the title of this, Bees. As you know, Jamie, they source all natural beeswax for all of their products, and it takes a lot of beeswax to do what they do with it. And so we went actually to a bee farm, and we met this awesome guy. His name was Jontis, I believe. He's from Sweden. And he was just a super cool dude. You know, had the blonde hair and looked like a Swede, and had the accent and all that kind of stuff. And he took us down to his bee. He has hundreds of bee farms between Boulder, Colorado, and Denver. And we just went to one where he had 4 big stations, and each station had 4 hives each. Okay, so that's 16 beehives in this one location, and it was just north of some alfalfa fields. It was just a gorgeous place. And so the whole purpose of us going there was just get some awesome video of Jamie going and looking at the bees and all that stuff, and just to get that good stuff for making awesome videos. Yes, Jason. Swedes. Swedes with bees. Oh, I love it, Jason. It's absolutely true. And it was so cool to go. And so I actually got the opportunity to gear up in a beekeeper outfit. They had an extra large, so it was barely big enough for me. It was a little short in the legs, right? Comes with the territory when you're 6'9". But we got suited up and we went to the beehive and the beehives. And Yantis was talking to us, and Jamie was talking. They were talking back and forth, and it was just super cool. And I was getting some video. I was at 120 frames per second most of the time, and it was just creamy good video. And if you stay to the end, I have a little teaser with some of the shots for you guys to take a look at. How's that sound? You guys cool if I show you some of these bees, some of this awesome video that I got? Let me get a drink really quick. Okay, so if you want to stay to the end, comment bees. It's funny, side note, whenever I think of bees, I love the movie Tommy Boy. If any of you have ever seen it, let me know. You'll know where I'm going with this. But there's a scene in the movie Tommy Boy when they're getting pulled over and they don't want to get arrested. And so they come up with a plan, and they pull off to the side of the road, and they get out of the car, and they're screaming, bees! And they're like swatting around like they're being swarmed and all this stuff. And, they're saying things like, they're huge and they're sting crazy, and your firearms are useless against them. And both of the cops actually end up are allergic to bees, so they just like back off and let them do it. It's one of my most favorite scenes from that movie. It's just hilarious. So whenever I think of it, that's what I see. Michael, bees. Yes, it's absolutely a hilarious scene. But so we get there and we start filming the stuff, and I'm in my suit, and at first we didn't have gloves on, and I was right by I didn't get stung on my hands at all, but they started getting a little bit more ferocious. And so I went and got gloves on, and I was shooting. And so just some context, I learned so much about bees. I've actually been interested in wanting to have a beehive and stuff like that myself, but I actually need the land first. But like, it was super fun to learn. At this time of year, the bees are transitioning, right? They are getting prepared for winter, and they become super protective of their honey. And side note, I've missed you guys too. Good to be back, you guys. Thanks, Aaron. You the man. And so they become super protective because they need that honey to survive on through the winter. And they actually harvest that honey and replace it with feed that gets them through the winter, right? But when they have so much to lose, they become very aggressive when people start to mess with their stuff. And, I'm not grabbing anything in the beehive. I've got my camera, and I'm shooting the video. And it was incredible, the sound. Like, I've been around bees and I've heard the buzzing of bees, but like the sound of the bees, like as more and more came out of the hive and were starting to buzz around and all that kind of stuff, it was really incredible. And there's like, Yantis took the top section off the beehive. He pulled out a honeycomb in the next section, and then he took that off, and we got down to another level. So within each one of these, there were 4 levels of honeycombs and trays and stuff that they store their honey. And as we got to the second one, like tons came out, and they started to get a little aggravated and becoming more aggressive. And it was funny when I went, and I've been watching through some of the video, you can hear on my microphone just like the zzz noise, but then also you hear like a zzz as they zip right past my microphone. It was pretty cool. But I'm standing in the midst of a huge swarm of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of bees. I would. There's no way I could guess. Like, you'll see in this video, like how many bees there were, and that you can see, and then there are tons that you can't see. But I was being swarmed and hit, and the energy from all of these bees going around was really cool. And usually I get kind of apprehensive when things are kind of getting like that. But I was totally calm, like totally zen. I wasn't like talking to myself like, no, it's okay, or anything like that. It was just like a very calming thing, having all of these crazy bees zipping around, trying to sting us or hitting us and that kind of stuff. But it was incredible how powerful that experience was to just be right there and looking down on tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of bees. And they're all just... And to be in the midst of a swarm, the other videographer that was there, she wasn't as zen as I was. She was kind of getting nervous and freaking out a little bit. But for me to be in there in the midst of this swarm and having bees crawling on my mask and on my camera and on my gloves and everywhere I turned, there were bees all over me, and they were clumped on our suits and all this kind of stuff. I couldn't help but focus and see some very specific things. It was pretty cool. Jason says, because I'm gentle, and I for a big dude, I am quite gentle. So thanks for that. But yeah, it's true. But in the midst of this swarm and all the chaos of things flying past my face and past my lens and all over us and everything, there were a few things that just really stood out to me, and I just want to talk about what those are, okay? First was the energy. Now, it's kind of funny, like, the energy of having thousands of people around or things like that can be super energizing to other people, or it can be draining. But to see this huge amount of bees working together and working and protecting and building and all that kind of stuff to perpetuate life was really powerful. To see nature at its core doing its thing, and just to be a witness of it, and to stand there and through a lens and with my own eyes just witness and watch and take part in that energy. There's some people are spiritual, some people aren't, that kind of thing. But going there and witnessing that, like, it's a powerful experience. And it kind of got me thinking about what we do as entrepreneurs, how we are as a society, as human beings, and all that kind of stuff. That when we work together for a common goal and for common purposes, amazing things happen. Miracles happen. Bees scientifically or whatever, because of their body mass and their wing size, like, technically shouldn't be able to fly, right? But they do. And it's just way cool to witness that. The other thing that really stood out to me, one from Yontas's side and Jamie's side and the bees side, like, I saw this. Systems and planning and purpose and rules and guidelines and stuff. It's a natural, eternal, so to speak, truth or principle or rule or law, whatever you want to call it. These bees instinctively go out and gather pollen. They bring it back to one central location where the rest of their family are. They gather and store the pollen. That pollen then is processed by the bees and becomes honey. And that honey gets put in these honeycombs and stacked on top of each other, and they make tons and tons and tons of it, simply to be able to allow bees to do the same thing the next year. A lot of the bees, like right now, they're transitioning. All the summer bees are being kicked out of the hive. And the drones are being kicked out of the hive because their purpose is done. And now it's time for the others to survive the winter so that they can jumpstart things in the spring. It's incredible. Systems and guidelines and rules. Oh my, Jason, you are correct. And I admittedly am not a systems type of person. I hate being confined to those types of things. What's up, Colleen? What's up, Dave? But witnessing it from the bee side, it's a natural, eternal law that systems and purposes and all that kind of stuff. And then watching Yontas. What's up, David? How are you, man? Oh, you've missed a lot. No, just kidding. I'm just talking about in the midst of the swarm of bees, of millions of bees flying around, how I was focused on things. One was energy and how incredible that was. And then, Colleen, you had me at bees. That's awesome. And then the second was systems and planning and things like that. How it's a very important thing to have. The bees had it. Yontis, he has hundreds of these farms all across, in between Boulder, Colorado and Denver, Colorado. Some of them are strategically placed, he said, and some of them he just places and sees what happens. But he systematically goes through and keeps track. He harvests at certain times, does certain things to be able to give the bees the greatest opportunities for success, and also for him and his family and his clients to be able to put food on the table and to provide for them, but then also to give of this natural goodness to the world is incredible. And Dave says, great to be here. Oh, how clever. That's awesome. And so, you know, it was just incredible to see the systems from him as well. Talking to him about like how he does all this stuff. It was pretty incredible. And then Jamie, she just bought, I think they bought 50,000 pounds of natural beeswax. Natural, not just beeswax from wherever, like from these hives. And the beeswax that they use are just the end caps on the honeycomb. So it's like a thin layer of wax on each side that they actually get to use for these things. It's incredible. And to be able to see the planning and the foresight that she has to have, and everything to be able to source and find all of that. And it's all, Yontis has been able to provide all that for her. And then on top of that, to be able to turn that from raw natural beeswax into these incredible organic soaps. And then also to distribute them, the shelf life, all sorts of stuff as demand keeps increasing and increasing. Having systems and planning in place was incredible to see. Okay, so part number 3 was that I saw was leverage. Leverage is such a I don't think people really understand the term leverage when it comes to their business. When that's you use something, like if you think of actual leverage where you stick, something in a fulcrum and you push, and you can lift heavier things because you're leveraging physics and torque and all these things against it, and it works in your benefit. The bees are masterful at leverage, right? These are the things that I learned. I didn't realize that there were summer bees and winter bees and drone bees and all these different types of bees that have different purposes. But guess what? They all leverage them in a very specific way for the good of them, to benefit themselves, the hive, the family, and all that kind of stuff. Right? Like these bees go out, these summer bees go out and they collect pollen. They can cover up to a 3-mile radius from the beehive if they have to. If it's sparse, they can cover 3 miles, which is insane, which is amazing. And they go and they collect all this stuff, right? And then there are the drones who are born without stingers, who don't go out and collect. They just mate with the queen, right? And to create the next generation. And then there are the winter bees who come in to help get things processed, whatever's left from the summer stores, and get them ready for winter storage, and to keep things going until the thaw comes out and they can go back out. And then with the new babies that were born, out go the summer ones. It's just incredible. And they leverage and work together for that common good, just like I was talking about. It was super cool. Geek. I said fulcrum. Yep. Geek level 27. That's me. Right? So it was crazy. It was awesome to see that from the bees. Then there's Yontis, and he leveraged the bees. Aaron says he had to get his kids out of the room. Why? What's going on? Just kidding. Because I said, oh, I think I know. Oh, look at all these bees. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, it was awesome. And so Yantis, then, the owner of these bee farms, he's leveraging the bees. He's leveraging the work and the skills of others to be able to provide for his family and to provide skills and services to the world. Right? He has hundreds of bee farms all over the place in Colorado, and he's constantly going and harvesting and collecting and doing all this stuff. And it's funny, everyone focuses on the honey with the bees, right? And rightly so. It's delicious and it's incredible. Actually, I'll save this for towards the end here. That story of some delicious, fresh honey. But like, everyone focuses on the honey. But when you scrape off that wax and throw it off to the side, he learned that he could leverage and use that piece as well to serve somebody else, and all that kind of stuff. So the seeing the leverage, and then seeing Jamie leverage Yantis and his bee farm and his network and his resources to be able to provide for her clientele. It was just incredible. And all of these things are going through my mind as I'm watching, and I'm being swarmed by thousands of bees. They're crawling all over me. I hear them like, right? It was just like constant buzzing and crawling and seeing them and hitting my things and seeing them flying and crawling all over Jamie and Yantis and Lucy, who was the other videographer that was there. It was just so incredible. And during the midst of all that chaos, I felt at peace. I was calm, and I was learning incredible lessons that applied to my business, but also apply to just life in general, and some to my faith as well. And it was just pretty incredible. And so the biggest thing that I've been able to take away, and like my focus since coming out of that, is leverage. I use Facebook Live all the time, right? I have the Facebook Live secrets course. Where is it? Right? I have Facebook Live secrets, right? And I leveraged Facebook Live to grow my business and grow my audience in the last 18 months, which has been awesome, right? Now I'm working on helping entrepreneurs. I've really dialed down the types of entrepreneurs and businesses that I can help. And, I have a lot of personality traits, and I'll share this in a different one. And then I narrowed it down to like revenue between 300,000 and $1 million of annual revenue is who I'm working to serve right now. And if that's you, I'd love to talk about what I can do to help you leverage your sales and leverage your lists, right? That's the whole thing, is like learning all this leverage has been super fun. And being reminded of it in nature and how it works is incredible. And so you'll see things from me down the line about, leverage and things like that as I'm going through and dialing some things in, right? But seriously, I was in the midst of the swarm being hit. I did get stung once on my leg, but I didn't even feel it until afterwards. It was awesome. But to be in the midst of all that chaos with dangerous creatures, right? I didn't feel fear. I felt calm. I felt energy, inspired, and also gained a lot of clarity on how life and nature, those patterns, how we can use them in our business. And it's way, way, way cool. So that is what I wanted to share with you guys. Just to kind of sum it up again, is like what I learned in the midst is the power of energy, the power of being amongst people, whether that's in your business or in coaching programs or just in your community, your family, whatever it might be. Being around people who support and see the vision or help you keep that vision if you're having to build things alone, and how important that is. And then next, the importance of systems and proper planning. You can't just wing it. Like, you can't. I've gone on video shoots where people wanted to wing it, and it was just not fun to edit in the back. without having a plan and stuff like that, right? It's pretty incredible. And then, what's up, Elena? And then I just saw that you were on. Hopefully you haven't been there sitting for a long time. Yay, Elena's back. Woohoo! Good to have you back. And then the third part was the importance of leverage. Nature uses leverage to perpetuate the species, to keep life going, to thrive, to survive. And if you're not using leverage, you'll die, basically. You don't leverage your skills, leverage the abilities of others that you surround yourself with, bad things happen. Then seeing Yontis leveraging the bees to be able to provide for his family and to give goodness to the rest of the world. And then Jamie leveraging Yontis to be able to provide her gift to the world. It's super cool. And then at the end of it, we got some delicious, he had one box that he had taken from another hive that morning. So there were no bees in it, but he pulled it out and we got some legitimate fresh from the honeycomb, taken out of the hive an hour or so before. And I got a little scoop of it with my finger and it was so good. You could taste the flowers still. It was so good, you guys. I can't ever go back to regular honey ever again. But it was super good. Okay, so that was my message for today. That's what I learned while being swarmed by bees and while being attacked and swarmed and surrounded by thousands and thousands of bees. I could only focus on one thing, and that was, well, I guess it was technically three things, but it all was going on at the same time. So there it is. Now, if you were here from the beginning, I said if you waited till the end, I had a little surprise. Some of the footage of the bees that I took. So I'm going to, let's see. If you want to see it, I know we commented earlier, but if you're ready to see it, let's blow this up with hearts and all that stuff while I grab a drink. And if you guys are good, then I will push the play button. How's that sound? I'm so needy. I need those hearts. Love me, love me. Oh, I'm a dork. Okay, they're flying in. Okay, here we go. So we'll watch this. It's just a couple of minutes, and then we will wrap it up. Okay, here we go.
These little bees.
What'd you think? Them's was some bees. But it was incredible. The video doesn't do the majesty of it justice, to be honest, but it was pretty great. So, if you just joined us, Scott, thanks for hopping on, dude. To summarize one last time, I was in Colorado Springs last week with Jamie Cross and was able to go to a bee farm to film, and I was literally swarmed by thousands, if not millions. I don't know how many there were, bees. And it was amazing. And my mind did go, wowzers. It was just so cool. And in the midst of all of that chaos, thank you, Elena. That music did turn out. And Jason, thanks. I know you have an eye for this stuff, so it's good to hear your feedback. But seriously, like, I'm in the midst of this chaos. I did not, with things just flying over and crawling all over me and on my camera and everything and all these things that I could have been worried about. I felt peace and energy and noticed the power of systems and planning and the power of leverage. And we'll go deeper into those things in the coming weeks and things like that. But just know that it's important in your business to have the right energy, whether that's spiritual or however you believe, the right energy and focus, to have systems and to plan ahead, and to be able to leverage yourself, your talents, and those of others. It's almost more important to be able to leverage the talents and skills of other people instead of just your own. And that's one thing that I've really learned over the last 2 trips to Colorado Springs and the trip I'm going to be taking to LA later this month to do some more filming. So with that said, remember that you can leverage the abilities and the skills of others to get more time, to get more sales, to get more customers and clients. But it's all a matter of finding the who knows how to do what you need in order to achieve those things. And I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm one of those people. So with that said, thank you all for hopping on. It's been a minute. I'm going to go live again tomorrow. I'm going to be from my mobile phone because I'm testing something with Aaron Stewart, and it's going to be incredible. So show up tomorrow as well. If you thought this was cool or there's anything awesome that you got value from, please comment and share that with me so that I know the things that are resonating with you guys so I can give you more of it. And feel free to please share it with your network of people as well. With that said, remember, stories are what change the world. You have tons of stories within you that will change people's lives, and it just takes one story. See you on the next one, guys.